Good evening, I'm TerryTopcat for TerryTopcat, Purrsents for ClusterView.com. We're in Sound Spa Productions in Edison, New Jersey. It's Saturday, 14th of September, and I'm with the incredible Stevie D. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Terry, good to see you, buddy.
What an honor. So the last time we saw each other was 5 years ago for the album launch of your wonderful album with the incredible Corey Glover, Torn from the Pages in Teaneck, New Jersey.
Yes.
And I'll be honest, that's one of the best rock shows I've ever seen, and one of my favorite rock albums. And such an honor to be here. We had a lovely dinner with your friend Rick and my lovely friend Lynn here as well. And now we're going to talk music.
Yes.
So let's talk about the wonderful Corey Glover. And you met him when he did his solo albums. You did a couple of tracks on hymns with his solo album that he did, I think 1998 or something.
Around 98,
yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, he was doing the record for LaFace, and I believe the label made a comment about wanting to have a little bit more heavy rock brought into the record, and a mutual friend of Corey and myself, his name is Mike Ciro, recommended,
great guitarist as well.
Recommended that Corey come down and meet me here at the spa, because Mike knows me as a guy who does a lot of rock, and he and I both see eye to eye in that genre. And Corey came down. I actually remember seeing them walk across the grass in the backyard, because the studio's here in my house. I have the visual, and Corey came in, sat on the couch that swallows you up and you can't get out, and I played him some stuff, and he said, let's go to Stevie's and recut a couple tunes, and that's how we met.
So you came up with the songs and the melody and the lyrics, and then he just sang them, or did you write some songs together?
Well, in terms of hymns, those were
with your albums together,
those were just torn from the pages. Those are my compositions, music, melodies, lyrics, and Corey was gracious enough to come in and interpret my vision. And that particular record started out, I thought I had this one song on the record that was a high energy rock tune called Your Time Has Run Out.
Great song.
And I thought to myself, boy, I really wouldn't mind it'd be great if Corey could do a guest appearance on the record, and that would be the tune that I thought would be. And I asked him if he would do it, and he said yes, he would, which was right. That I'll never forget that moment. And after he sang the tune right in back of you, right where you're sitting there, and as he's tracking it, literally the first line, I'm sitting here with the headphones on, and I thought to myself, how do I get him to do the whole record now? Because conceptually, you're thinking to yourself, wow, getting someone like Corey Glover to sing your music, conceptually, that's a wonderful thought. But to actually hear it happen takes that thought to the next level. Becomes reality, and then some. And I don't think I might have asked him during the tracking. I don't remember when I asked him, but I said, Corey, can you do the whole record? Yeah, no problem. So at that point, the train was rolling. So we would just do one song at a time. He's a feel dude, he's everything, obviously, but Corey's about feel, he's about vibe, soul, heart. And I don't think he would even listen to the demos I sent him. I think he would come in, I'd give him a lyric sheet, and I think that would be the first time he's actually heard the song.
That's even more
the day
impressive.
He got here. So that record, what you're hearing is Corey coming in, hearing the song for the first time, for the most part. And by the time he left, 4 or 5 hours, we worked hard, By the time he left, it sounded like we've been touring for 3 years, the way the tracks came out. A musician of that caliber is going to make your productions sound high level, even though he just heard it, more so than somebody who's I don't want to use the word lesser. It's no disrespect to anybody, but Corey's just such a high level musical cat. Just having him come in and just ad lib over the song is going to be, better than a guy rehearsing it for
a long time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
By the time he left, it sounded like we had been touring for, because usually this was never the case in for the most part in the record making process. Rock bands, especially, a band would do a record and then tour the record.
That's right.
And then a year later, they'd look at each other and go, we should go recut the record now because we just toured it for a year. But the way things were back in the day, it was like do a record tour. And you didn't have the liberty, at least not in all cases, to write a record, tour it, and then record it. So that's kind of the analogy of how Corey, how we did this record.
And I was very, very fortunate with my friend Denise, God rest her soul. We went and saw you perform the album, and it was amazing. And it got re-released on the 13th of August this year.
Correct.
It's still one of my favorite rock albums ever. I played it to my friend Nigel recently, who's a big rock guy. He absolutely loved it. And I think it's got a lot of legs still in that record. So tell me of the plans. You thinking of doing like maybe a releasing Now or Never, or maybe some other songs? The plan is to, at this stage of the game, being that we're not active, we're not out playing or actively working the project at the moment. I did get a 4-camera shoot the night that you came to the Debonair. So I have that whole show. So you can use them as promotional tools.
So I'm gonna start promoting each tune one at a time and doing short videos for each song, using the footage from the show. And I just did it for Alone Again. And now I know the reasons why you call me up and tell me that you're all alone again. If you could see yourself, you know why you're the only one who'll ever wanna be with you again. And I'm gonna I'll do it again. For the next track I'm gonna do is maybe Strung Out. You mentioned Strung Out.
That's a great song as well.
I'm quite fond of that song, but I was thinking that or Now or Never. So that's the plan. Now that I have the rights to the record again, I'm
and that must be important as a musician to own your own rights as well. Then you have the freedom in terms of how you want to promote it. And okay, maybe not tour because Corey's very busy, but you got all the promotional tools, like you say, with the video of the live gig. So you got a new single coming out with Corey on the 9th of October. So tell us what the title is and what the song about. Okay, so is that going to be on Torn for the Pages, or this is something separate?
Single, yeah. I have after Torn from the Pages came out, I was getting a follow-up ready, so I have 4 tracks with Corey that I'm going to finish and release one at a time as singles. And this first one is called The Great Lost Hope, which will be out October 9th. And
great artwork. Who did the artwork, do you mind me asking?
Nello Del Olmo, my buddy from Naples. He did Torn from the Pages.
Yeah, but this one was really good.
Yeah, because
so tell us the concept.
It's really good because I'm not on the cover finally.
But tell us the concept. We were talking about it before as well.
A pseudo political track, it was a moment in time where I just ranted out some political. I guess they're political lyrics. Just my thoughts on or the organized whatever. I who am I to speak for people who do have these difficult jobs, and who knows what goes on in the mind or the heart of people, and you can't put yourself in anybody else's shoes in this
Absolutely.
life, but I will say that in terms of it would be nice to see the world for the most part in a better place in terms of people who really need help, people out there who good people who are just born into unfortunate situations, especially the children that don't have clean water and all that stuff. It would be nice to see the world as a community, the powers that be, come together to deal with those issues and make those the headlines and the accomplishments. And I'm sure they do. I'm sure there's, but I mean, at the end of the day, it seems like all the discussions are about other things that, are important. But, what is more important than a child who doesn't have a clean glass of water? That shouldn't be, that should be our priorities as leaders and in those positions. Those should be the things we should be taking care of.
And talking of politics, you got the election coming up in the next.
Got the election, and this wasn't planned. No. It was a happy. It was. I won't say a happy. It was an act. A musical accident. So.
So this could be scary times ahead, because I was here when I saw the debate on TV, and I thought Kamala Harris really dealt with it very well, and she was very articulate, and her points came across really well. I really hope America make the right decision. I don't even have to say who what the outcome I want it to be, but yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with the UK. We've just got a new government in, and obviously there are going to be lots of changes, and people are going to be disillusioned, and you just hope to find some people who really, they have the heart in it and they're doing it for the right
reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, wherever, wherever in the world.
Such a worthwhile way to spend your life on planet Earth is to get into a position where you're able to do some things to make a difference, to help.
And music does too. Music really does.
Well, you know what else does? Be just smiling and being nice and respecting each other. That's a huge, and not beeping at people who take too long to make a left turn. And you're just being a
decent human being,
a peaceful soul, and respecting each other's short stay here on this planet. Short stay, like, hey man, we're all checked into the same hotel, like, don't make, my room is next to yours. Can you turn the TV down a little bit? Sure. I'm sorry, man. I know you're but it's such a privilege to be in that position, to be able to serve. That is that is the reason to pursue that kind of a life, is to serve. And I think there's right? I mean, give the human race the benefit of the doubt. There's a lot of people out there who
do the right thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and especially not only with politicians, I think musicians play a big role, because I was very fortunate enough to interview all the members of Living Colour in Nottingham recently in July, and I briefly talked about politics, and saying, well, look, if you've got a voice, use it, and it's very obvious what their political persuasions are, but I think musicians do have a responsibility, and they say it's always important to have a message, positive message in music as well. Because it's the younger generation who get influence, and as well as people of our age as well. I think music holds a lot of importance and can change a lot of things with a really positive message.
I know when I hear music that hits here, and if as long as I'm healthy and feeling well,
sure,
that upgrades that moment in time significantly. I think.
And look how things have changed. Originally you had people like the wonderful Stevie Wonder and so many other people of his time, like Marvin Gaye and all these other wonderful soul singers having that particular message. And he's got a new song now, Stevie Wonder, and the message is, is amazing. So, I think it's really important. People, whether it's politicians, actors, musicians, people who are in a position of influence, who can use their talent to influence and give a great positive message and make change.
It's funny because music makes people happy for the most part. But even angry music, even like a punk record where they're, just dissing the establishment, and some, a bunch of people over here that's, they're making them happy. So, all different angles go to the heart, and, as long as they don't do what the lyrics say, just like, have a good time, but behave yourself. But yeah, no, being a musician, oh man, I mean.
And do you like playing on the road? I know you do a lot of mixing and engineering, you're in the studio a lot, but that must be a different experience actually performing, because I certainly enjoyed you performing, when I saw you play live.
My outlook for myself is balance is extremely important. I hope I'm not popping the peas too much on this 57. Balance is very important. I think 3 months in the studio and then 3 months on the road is a beautiful concept.
Sure.
Too much of anything can be, cannot be good. In life, period. Too much of one thing might not be the best possible. But as far as for me, I got into this as a performer. I got into this as a musician. I didn't start as an engineer. I became an engineer for the most part because I wanted to be able to record my own music at 3 a.m, 4 a.m when I, and I'm also very interested in the art of it. But so for me, performing and writing and performing, you don't get the feeling like you get performing in a studio.
No,
at least I
true.
don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I lose my heart grows huge when I'm in front of human beings and
you see their reaction.
They're you know.
And that's how, also live performances also is how, like I met our wonderful friend Lynn here just through in the same bands, and then she's an avid concert goer like me. And for me, I can listen to a piece of music on whatever, on my headphones or on the stereo, but seeing the artist perform live is just a different kind of magic for me.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. As someone who loves music and goes to concerts all the time, it's just, I want to see their faces. I want to see how they perform. I want to see the interaction and how much they get the love back from the audience.
Well, you're in there when you go see an artist live. You're in their office.
Yeah.
You're seeing what that's a professional up there doing that's what they do. There's an art form to being, making music is one thing in here. It's a wonderful thing, but bringing it to the stage and feeding it to the immediate the humans who are there to see it, that's another level. And the music. Musicians are not studio cats. Like musicians are artists. A lot of music, in today's day and age, where recording device, the availability of being able to record yourself is
so different to when you first started,
incredible.
right?
I mean, and there's artists out there who don't even know how to send an email. Artists are not tech heads. Not all of them. Some of them are, but for the most part, like a real artist that's a real artist. It's a performer, man. I'm a tech head, but I'm like a talent scout because I've been spent so many hours in the studio working with music. I really learned humility in the studio, because I wanted to be a guitar hero. Of course, Eddie Van Halen kiboshed that with one song when I heard it, so that was cool. But I wanted to be a guitar hero, and being in the studio and recording guitar players, cats who ran just what's the term? Like they ran rings around me or whatever.
Yeah.
Like my face was this far from Elliot Randall's guitar. My face was was this far from some of these local guys here that inspired guys like Zach from Ozzy. Like I've worked with guitar players, and you learn humility in a heartbeat when you're in this position as a player and as a musician. So my point being, I'm a tech head. I am a performer. I'm a ham up there. I do consider myself a musician, but I got so much of this tech in me that I'm able to look at like the Corey Glovers and the David Coverdales and the Lady Gagas and the Madonnas.
I've never seen David Coverdale before.
And the Grace Joneses.
Yeah.
And I'm able to like go, and the Cyndi Laupers. I'm able to look at these musicians and go, man, that's an artist. That's a performer.
Absolutely.
That's a technician up there.
Adamant's
That's a
great too.
technician, because those are the people that bring the people in the room for the most part. That sell the records
and keep the attention of the audience.
Because it is the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And if you can do all of this, but you can't entertain, then you better stay in the studio.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap this up. So Torn from the Pages is out now. Where can people find the album, find you on social media, and the name of the single again? It's coming out on October the 9th.
October 9th, yeah.
Yeah.
The Great Lost Hope.
The Great Lost Hope. Brilliant artwork. Check it out. And great song as well. I've been
Thank you,
very
brother.
lucky to listen to it as well.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
man.
for
God bless you.
letting me listen to it early. And Torn from the Pages is out now, and it's on Spotify and Apple Music.
Apple Music, Amazon. There's a couple of videos on YouTube we did back in the day for Final Resting Place,
That's
and
a
Your
great
Time
song.
Has Run Out.
Yeah.
We did a couple pretty cool videos up at my buddy's studio up in Long Branch, New Jersey. Joey DeMayo's place, Surefire Studios. Gary Talent used to own it, the bass player from Springsteen. Joey's been flying the flag for Surefire for years. Joey's a great friend, great guitarist. Quick story. I hope I get this right. The original owner, or one of the partners for Surefire Studios in Long Branch, was the guy who warned I shouldn't be smiling about this, but such an interesting story. Pearl Harbor. The radar guy who saw the incoming and reported the incoming, and they said, no, it's nothing, it's just maneuvers, owned Surefire. I'm pretty sure that's a true story. You could fact check me if I'm wrong, forgive me, but that's the way I heard it. His name is George something, but I always found that pretty fucking
And anyone
fascinating.
you can, so you work, any new artists that you're working with that you want to give a name shout out to?
Well, I'm working with an artist now. Her name is Lorraine Ewan. I'm real excited about that project. She's a singer-songwriter, and we'll have our record will be done. We're into our sixth song already. It's only been like 2 months, and for me, that's a record, because if you ask any of my clients, they'll tell you that guy is the slowest engineer on planet Earth.
So obviously the chemistry's right between you two, and there's the vibe, and you feel comfortable working with each other.
Yeah, and she likes it real heavy. And
Okay.
That's my wheelhouse. I'm actually been tuning down to G, drop G. Sabbath was drop C sharp.
Okay.
I'm drop G on a couple things, but I'm going to come back up to C sharp. So
Thank you very much, Stevie.
Thanks,
Torn
man.
from the Pages, out now. Incredible album. Check it out.
thanks, Terry. God bless you.
TerryTopcat for TerryTopCat, Purrsents, ClusterView.com with the wonderful Stevie D.
Thank you, brother. God bless you.